Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And as you probably saw from the stream title, we are doing the best sandwich I have ever had or made, I think. Certainly in recent memory. It's just absolutely fantastic taste sensation. And it fills my my niche of street food. This is a New York street food from a particular sandwich cart. I saw the guy, the guy who started this food court is now a accomplished restaurant chef guy, but you got to start doing a food cart. This is one of his sandwiches. I didn't invent this. It's absolutely fantastic. So before we get into that, we got a couple cool things I want to talk about tonight. And for the first time in a very long time, we are going to be doing a cocktail. I did say that if a cocktail of interest came up, I would do it. And in this particular case, this is kind of a fun one. This one doesn't have a name. This is a Chef Guys. Yes. This is a cocktail that we just kind of threw together one night. We were going to make Cuba Libres, rum and Coke. We're gonna make rum and Coke. Oh, I need this actually. But we don't have any rum because our bar cart's been running down because I haven't been replacing anything on it. However, we did have from the Pina Colada days, I think, some Malibu Caribbean rum with coconut flavored liquor. And we thought we would try that and see if it worked out. So when you're like inventing your own cocktail, you're not exactly swinging for the fences when you start with Malibu rum. But it turned out to be surprisingly good. Like it was a really, really good cocktail. So there's not much to it. I'm just going to make a couple. You just build it in a glass, and it's simply... well, we need a lime. Let's do the lime first. Now, Malibu rum is really sweet. So this really needs a good shot of lime, more than you would put in a... yeah, it's a tropical rum and Coke. But it does make the drink sweet. So I find like a good shot of lime, more than you would put in a Cuba Libre. Is the way to go. I'm just going to do like a full squeeze. These are pretty juicy limes, so I figure that's probably going to be enough. This is probably, I mean, these are going to be excellent in the summer. So I'm kind of, and the other nice thing too is this makes a fantastic sipping drink, because you know, if you're making a rum and Coke or any cocktail, like I use a pretty good quality rum in my rum and Cokes because I like the taste of a good spirit. So, you know, we typically use like a 12-year-old dark rum for the rum and Coke, and I'll make it in a rocks glass. And I only, you know, I don't put a lot of Coke in it. Like it's a healthy shot of rum, and it's just topped with Coke. However, in this particular case, we don't we don't really need to worry about masking the flavor of Malibu rum. I don't think anything can mask the flavor of Malibu rum. So you can just top it up, and now you have a nice sipping drink for the summer. Malibu rum's only 21% alcohol, so it's stronger than wine, but not nearly as strong as like a high proof alcohol like rye or any of the other spirits. And so you just have like a nice easy dripping, it is dripping, easy drinking cocktail for the summer, for the patio. You can drink a bunch of these and it's not going to go to your head too fast. So there you go. It seems weird, but this is really tasty, guys. Yep, it's still really good. So Serena, if you want to come down for yours, I got it here for you. And we can start to get into the sandwich in a sec. While Serena comes down for this, which I'm just going to put here, I do want to talk about the cool things. And the first cool thing I'm going to talk about is going to be one of the ingredients we're going to use tonight. And it's this stuff. It's blue agave syrup. So one of the things that frustrates me about cooking, sometimes in general, is trying to sweeten, here you go, is finding something appropriate to sweeten your dish with. Refined sugar isn't particularly good for you, and wow, that really shakes the camera. and just in general, it's not really a good thing you want in your food. And like I have my seasoning mix. I have sort of a go-to seasoning mix that I use when I'm trying to like just add flavor to things, or if I'm just making stuff off the cuff, which is 3 parts salt, 1 part MSG, and 1 part sugar. So I do use refined sugar in that, but I was kind of looking for a substitute for that. So this, and there's a couple actually. So this is one, blue agave syrup, which we're going to use tonight, and you'll see in a second what we use that for, is fantastic for adding sweetness without all the nasty stuff that comes with refined sugar. And then the other one, which I've had actually in my kitchen for a long time, this is just rice syrup. You can get this in any Asian market. Also adds a nice sweetness without overpowering your dish, or having that weird edge sweetness that refined sugar will give it. So I'm not using this tonight, but there you go. Yeah, you can get this in any Korean market. Okay, any questions on sweeteners? We're good? We're good on sweeteners? Okay. So then the other thing I want to talk about is knives. We haven't talked about knives in a little while, and we moved, and so I was reorganizing my knife drawer. Give me a sec. And it got me thinking about knives because I was reorganizing everything and deciding which knives I use and whatever. So I thought I would talk a little bit about what knives are good to have in the kitchen and what to look for when you get a knife and everything else. So the first thing you have to have, the first most important thing in your knife drawer or kit is this guy. And I know I can hear everybody doing the Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife with the bad Australian accent. This isn't a knife. This is a sharpening steel. And you need to have, yeah, I know I'm talking fast. Kind of amped tonight. You need to have one of these in your knife drawer. You have to have a way to return the edge to your knife, okay? And if you have one of these and you use it you give your knife a few strokes every time, or every second time you use it, or even every third time, it will stay sharp nearly forever. Okay, and never need like a professional sharpening, or you won't have to run it over a whetstone or anything. The last knife, the newest knife in my collection was a gift from Rebecca, which is my chef's knife, and I have not had to sharpen it yet, and it's still razor sharp because I use this. So these aren't expensive. This is the first thing you need, and I know it's not a knife, but I can't stress how important this is otherwise. Okay. And there's a million YouTube videos on how to use these. Don't use this the way Gordon Ramsay does in the start of Hell's Kitchen. That's terrifying. Okay. So for me, the most important knife in my kitchen is this guy right here. This is a chef's knife. This is the only knife you need. Really, this is the only knife you need. All other knives after this are conveniences or specialty items. I use this for 99% of the cutting that I do. This is a 10.5, which is, I used to have a 12, it was too big for me. I thought it was cool to have a big knife, and it was cool, but it was just too unwieldy. And an 8 was too short, and I settled on the 10.5. Well, I didn't know it existed until Rebecca sent it to me, which is very, very, very nice. But if you don't want a 10.5, this is a fantastic place to start. This is an 8-inch chef's knife. This one, first rule of knives, falling knife has no handle. If you drop your knife, let it go. The worst you can do is bust the tip, and in fact, this knife, at one point, I think it got stuck in Rebecca's drain. This is one of her old knives. It had a broken tip. She bent the tip, and I just reformed it with a whetstone, and it's good to go. I don't use this all that much, but with this one dirty in the sink, I'll grab this one. Also, in terms of, yeah, Spencer, that is a fantastic knife sharpener. I actually do mine by hand, and maybe I'll show you guys how to do that next time. But honestly, that electronic Chef's Choice one that you have is just absolutely dynamite. But let's talk a little bit about the expensive knives and how much you should spend on a knife. I don't know how much this one cost, these are modestly priced knives, which I think is great. Never buy a knife with a bolster, which is the fat bit back here. It will make your knife impossible to sharpen. It's annoying as hell. It will always be in your way, and you will regret it the rest of your days. You do have to watch this little back thing, but you should always be careful around a knife anyway. So this is a solid go-to standard knife. These are Victorinox knives. The other brand, which I'll show you in a sec, is Mercer. You can get them both on Amazon. I can't recommend these highly enough. The handles are super comfortable. It's their patented whatever handle. It's a Fibrox handle. Food doesn't get in it. They're bomb-proof, bulletproof, dishwasher-proof. They're everything-proof. But chef knife is all you need. Having said that, if you're like hulling strawberries, and I actually do use this for that, but you probably shouldn't. If you're hulling strawberries, trying to wield a 10.5-inch knife into a tiny strawberry is the Misen knife. It's a great knife, Rebecca. I bought it and I didn't like the shape of it. I didn't like the way it fit in my hand, and I gave it to my brother Paul, who loves it. So there you go. But the Misen knife, okay, if you can get the Misen knife on sale, then do that. And they're always running promos and stuff like that. It's worth trying out. I didn't care for it, but that's just me. So the second knife to add to your collection is a paring knife. This guy right here. You can get a nice little choke hold on this. You can dig into strawberries, I never use this, ever. But it was in the drawer. I think Serena uses this once in a while. But most people will like to have a paring knife. These are essentially disposable. When I do buy them, I buy them at the, hey Nick. When I do buy them, I buy them at the front counter of Nella Cutlery. They actually have like a little glass jar at the front, and you just pick them up, pick up a couple paring knives. They're $10. Even the Victorinox one is like $12 or something. They will stay sharp a long time. It's a lightweight knife. They get bent, they get broken. Chuck them, get another one. A lot of people like to have that. I don't really use it myself, but I think I'm the exception. And that should cover like 100% of your cutting chores. Now, there are a couple knives of convenience, okay? Let me show you what I use. Okay, so this is kind of my paring knife. When I want a smaller knife, and this is a global knife, and they're very expensive, and I bought this a long time ago, when I had more money than sense. Getting there, Serena. So this is like my vegetable prep knife. And maybe I'll use it tonight for you guys. I love this knife. It fits my hand beautifully. So when I want a smaller knife, this is what I use. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. It's not really part of your kit. You could actually, this is almost big enough to use, as your main knife. This would be like a 6-inch chef's knife. There's nothing wrong with that. So this could be your only knife. Since Serena brought it up, it's nice to have a bread knife. These bread knives come in 2 styles, and serrated knives aren't just for bread. They go through tomatoes like they're butter, and they're just a general good all-around knife to have. I mainly use this for bread. And you can get an offset one where the blade drops down like this, which makes it, when you get to the bottom of the loaf, a little easier. The blade hits the board and your hand's up here. But they don't make an offset 10-inch chef's bread knife that I've been able to find. And I sometimes cut really large loaves of bread, and so I wanted the full reach. I don't like my bread knives to be too short. So yeah, a bread knife is something you can add down the road. If you're cutting bread, you kind of have to have a serrated knife. And then lastly, well, not lastly, I got a couple more, but anyway, this is a boning knife, okay? You use this for trimming meat. I use this for cutting up chickens, although there's no reason you can't cut up a chicken with a chef's knife. So this just makes it the blade's like a little flexible. You can dig into like smaller places. I mainly use this for butchering, like small things, trimming strip loins, or briskets, or pork shoulders, or whatever you happen to be doing. And they're fantastic for chickens. But you don't need it. Nice to have. And again, this is the Victorinox one. It was about 60 or 70 bucks. Maybe not even that much. So not expensive. And then another really important knife in our kitchen is this one. This is a Santoku. by Cuisinart, which I sharpened finally because they don't come sharp. This is really important because this is Serena's favorite knife. This is her go-to knife in the kitchen. I never use it, but for Serena, it fits her hand and she's used to it. And this is the knife she's most comfortable using, which is really, really important for a knife. And then finally, we have a knife that I'm going to use tonight just because I think it's funny. This was a gift from our friend Gila, who had it in her kitchen. It is a sandwich knife. It actually says sandwich on it. I don't know if you guys can read that, but this is by Calphalon. This knife was probably like 250 bucks, of course. It is a serrated knife, and I will get you a new one. It's a serrated knife. It's got this weird wavy pattern on it, which makes it impossible to sharpen. It's completely impractical. It is pretty good for sandwiches, which is what I'm going to use it for tonight because we're doing a sandwich. I would never buy one, but it's kind of fun to have. So I'm going to put these away. Do we have any questions on knives? Okay, good. I'm glad. That was the knife talk, and I feel like we haven't done that in a while. So there you go. Let's talk about tonight's dish. Let's have a sip of Coke. So the sandwich we're doing requires a little bit of prep. And one of the reasons I wanted to do the sandwich too is it actually involves a really important technique or ingredient that is part of this dish, but it's something you can use in your day-to-day cooking all the time. And it's called various things. It's called a green sauce. Some people call it green. Some people call it there's a Mother Earth sauce or something. And it's basically a green veg sauce. It's a great condiment on everything. It's really great in the sandwich. We've already done a version of this. We did Roy Choi's version. Green Goddess, that's it. We did a version of this when we did Roy Choi's, some of the Korean cooking out of his book. And so this is a slightly different version, but I really want to show it to you guys. It's just such an important thing to have kicking around. So I'll show you how to do that. First of all, it starts with, so you're going to blend it. So I'm going to put our blender thing here. And it starts with a lot of cilantro. Green Goddess is tarragon heavy. I didn't realize that there was an actual codified recipe for Green Goddess. I just thought it was kind of like any green sauce. But I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Anyway, we're starting with a ton of cilantro. This is about 3 bunches from the grocery store. And I'm using the whole thing. I got the stems in there. I trimmed maybe like 1 inch off the stems before I washed it. Your cilantro needs to be washed. Because why not, right? Use the whole thing. You don't need to like take the stems off or anything like that. And I basically put in as much as I can fit until I have to leave room for the other thing. So I'm not quite going to get 3 bunches in there, depending on how big your blender is. Cilantro or tarragon. Well, this is definitely cilantro. So there we go. There's some, the hell was that? Cilantro. We are also going to put in some chives. I got like a bunch of chives. I'm probably going to whack these in half and give the blender a head start here. And I said I would use my vegetable oil, so let's do that. Cut those in half. They go in. And you guys all know me. If you want this recipe, you can either replay this or just ask me and I'll send it to you. I want some scallions. I'm running out of room here. You can go pretty scallion heavy on this. It's a nice flavor. This gives it a little punch. Take the ends off. Just give it a rough chop. Really stuffing this down. I hope this. I don't want to overpack my blender here because there's still more stuff to go in. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get more scallions in. These are going on a stir fry or something later. What else do I want to put in here? Oh yeah, a couple of jalapenos. Oh, I don't think I would like a mint version, Rebecca. That doesn't sound good at all. Now, depending on how spicy you want your green, you can take out the ribs and the seeds. So what I usually do is this. I just take the sides And then I'll take like that part out. I like spicy, but I don't always like it in my greens, so I tend to go like a little mild on it. And I mean, if you like it spicy or whatever, put in as many as you want. There we go. Let's take this guy down too. Take the end off. And you know, you can leave a few seeds in there, and this is something you can really make your own. I'm giving you a good base to go on here, but you know. And then what else? We want an avocado. I'm going to put an avocado in. Oh, you know what I didn't grab? It was like some way to dig out the avocado. Just use the back of the knife. Just be inventive here. Avocado's pretty soft already. Okay, what else can we pack in here? We really need to buy a Vitamix. Okay, and so I want 2 tablespoons of agave for sweetness. This is to, actually let's do the lime next. Fresh avocado, yes. Let's do, so for doing a couple of limes, I'll use the little fruit citrus press that I had before. But if I'm juicing a lot, because I want like nearly a cup of lime juice here, I'm going to use the beast that's over here on the right. And we'll talk a little bit about, so these things are really handy to have around. Oh, can you guys see this? You can kind of see it. Let me move it more in. Nope, that's worse. Oh, there you go. This is my giant juice press. Very, very handy. If you're doing a lot of juicing. You do have to be careful with it a little bit because it shakes the whole table. You don't want to, I can show you guys. You don't want to overpress it. This thing has a ton of leverage. And if you overpress your limes, you'll get into the pith, which is really bitter. So don't go too crazy when you're cranking down on this. So this new countertop moves a lot more than my old one. However, just do what you can, right? Well, we're going to use all the limes for sure. As I said, you would not want to juice this many by hand. Or with a small one is what I mean. Alright, I even have a backup lime that was in my fridge. Any questions? I know this part isn't super exciting watching me do the lines, but I wanted to show you guys this. Well, I could have done this in advance, I guess, but we are going to use absolutely all of it. Perfect. This is also if you like fresh grapefruit juice, obviously, or fresh orange juice. This is definitely the way to do it. Okay. There we go. So we're done with the monster. Let me get rid of these. This can go right into here. Slowly. Hey Paul, how's it going? You haven't missed a lot. We're just getting, we're just making the green. So we're doing a sandwich tonight, and this is one of the ingredients. It's the green sauce that goes on the sandwich. Okay, that out of the way. Got a little more space here. Feeling good. I think you need that much juice. I know it seems like a lot, but we're making a lot of green. Like this makes a lot of juice, and we're gonna sweeten it to taste with the agave syrup, right? So I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons. And we're gonna see with that how that goes. I'm probably actually gonna mute the mic too. This is probably gonna be loud as hell. Do I have everything? I want some oil. I want half a cup of olive oil. You can use any kind of oil you want here. I like the richness of olive oil, so I'm gonna use that. But you could use avocado oil or a neutral oil. I'm kind of like borrowing a little bit from my Italian cooking to use olive oil, but like avocado oil, of course, would fit right in too. And I want a couple pinches of salt, maybe a teaspoon of salt. You don't want to over salt this because you don't know what your end use is, and so a little salt keeps it bright. And then there's one trick at the very end I'll show you guys. Let me blend this up, and I'm gonna you guys chat amongst yourselves. I'm gonna mute you guys for a sec just so I don't kill you at the. Okay, I'm back. Just a point of just a note: don't ever, when your blender's running, take this off and stick something in it. You can risk all kinds of really, really bad things happening. I know I did it. I happen to know from my blender exactly how far down I can stick this without hitting the blades. Don't do it. Okay. All right. So, and look at the color of this, guys. Oh, you can see it. Like, check this out. This stuff is insane. And this will last a very, very, very long time. So much so I don't really need to get like every last bit out of here because I have now a lifetime supply. Okay, so that's our ingredient. Any questions? I'm just trying to like, yeah, maybe it's a bad example. There's certain, you learn your kitchen. This is one of the things though, guys. Like you learn your kitchen, you learn what you can do and what you can't do with your own stuff. So I just didn't want anybody to just think that that was cool to do or like a good idea. It's not a good idea, but I happen to know that it's going to be okay. But look at the color. Like, it just looks wonderfully edible to me. So there you go. Any questions on green? It was technically off camera. Like nobody could really see what I was doing. Okay, let's get into the rest of this sandwich. Oh, you know what we have to do? I gotta get, we gotta do some bacon. Let's do that next. Put that there. Get our slim out. I should put it over here. So we're gonna fry up some bacon and continue to put this together. Let me get that going. For the bacon, I'm doing 2 sandwiches, obviously, because there's 2 of us. So I'm going to do the rest of the bacon, but I would do normally like two pieces per person. This is probably like 5 total, so that's about right. Okay. And I'm just cutting it into lardons, I guess, little pieces. You don't want to use, and I kind of learned something about putting bacon in sandwiches. You don't want to use full pieces of bacon generally in a sandwich ever, because you get too much pulp. It's difficult to, unless the bacon is super crispy, and in fact that would be too crispy for a sandwich, to bite it off and you end up pulling the ingredients out of the sandwich, which is like not very appetizing. Okay, so we're going to quickly put some color on this. We want it pretty crisp. So we're going to rush that just a little bit. Well, you guys can't see it, can you? I mean, everybody knows what bacon looks like frying. Let me do it this way. Move this over here, up there maybe. And then, so we're going to do an avocado. So the sandwich is basically cheese, which I have there already. I'm going to talk about that when the bacon's not frying, drowning me out here. Yeah, I know. Is it really loud? It probably is. What can I do about that? Okay. What am I going to do? Maybe I'll just, you guys have all seen bacon frying before, so I'm just going to put this up here so we can continue talking. Trust me, bacon's frying. Yeah, I'm on it. Okay, so we're going to, a sliced avocado is going to be in this sandwich. Oops, popped apart. Wow, this is a really ripe avocado. So ideally you want slices here. I have a feeling we're going to get kind of like a paste out of this guy. Let's see. That's not too bad. For a large avocado, probably a quarter will do. I'm going to use half per sandwich. There's our avocado ready to go. Put that off this side, and I'm just going to prep these sandwiches like right on the tabletop here. Okay. Of course, we need bread. So the bread and avocado, basically just what I did. So, like when you're at the store, I have one here. Unfortunately, normally when I go to buy an avocado, they're rock hard and I can't use it for like 5 days, which is frustrating. I mean, an avocado should have a little bit of give. Like when you poke it, it should just dent. Also, if you're going to dent the avocados, make sure you buy that one. That'll tell you that it's ripe. And then just do what I did. I slice it in half, and then I run the knife through it. I usually use a spoon, not the back of a knife, to get it out, and that's kind of it. You can, I actually had one for a little while. Somebody gave it to me. It was an avocado tool specifically for dealing with avocados, and It was really good at scooping the avocado out and for mashing avocado, but so is a fork. So I lost it eventually and I never replaced it. It's not that important to have. Okay, so for the bread, we're using a sourdough loaf here. And you want to open them up like this. So this part's actually a little bit important. You want your two halves just like this, because you'll see when we put this guy together. Yeah, no, it's great if you have it. I just didn't find it so useful that I was like, it was a must-have that I would replace it when I lost it. Okay, that's still going. Okay, so we got our sandwiches. Okay, and let's talk about the cheese here a little bit, because I've actually learned a fair bit about grilled cheese over the last few days that I've been making the sandwich. I normally grate my cheese on the large holes, like shredded cheese, right? But for grilled cheese, if you do that, the cheese won't melt fast enough. It doesn't melt before the bread browns too much, and so it takes a little more time, but you can see how finely I grated this. I ran this through the small holes, and it makes a big difference. And we're going to put the cheese on both sides. Do I want to do it this way? I kind of want to just not making a mess here. I want to do it on the cutting board. It's easier to clean up. Okay, so I get a solid layer of cheese. You don't need to go crazy on the cheese because there's quite a few ingredients, and the sandwich is already pretty rich. I'm going to go down this side. So this finely shredded cheese, of course, it is sourdough. Penny. Hi, Penny. What did I say really fast? Sourdough? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just catching up on the chat. Yes, this is sourdough bread, and I think sourdough, a crusty sourdough, is important for this sandwich. We're getting there. Penny, of course, has advanced knowledge of this sandwich because I made it when we were on a date last night. Okay. We got avocado down both sides, and the interesting thing for me is it turns out this avocado gets hot enough, I guess, for me to actually eat without an allergic reaction. So I was really happy about that part. And you just layer your avocado slices down the sandwich. Okay, getting there. Okay, the bacon's ready. And too hot to touch, which is just fantastic. Let's see what we can do here. We kind of don't want all the fat. Okay. We actually have to wait for a sec anyway. Still getting used to this kitchen, guys. So the next thing we have to do is get our cast iron pan heated up. Yes, I'm going to make this, honestly guys, I'm going to make this for every single person I know. It's that good. I'm kind of in love with this sandwich, actually. Okay, so the other thing we need to do though is heat up the pan. We're using a cast iron pan here. Not strictly necessary, but it's really good for heat retention. So one of the myths about cast iron pans is that they heat really evenly, and they don't at all. And you can prove it to yourself really easily. But what they do is, and I think people confuse that with heating evenly, is they retain heat really well. So we're going to get this warm so that when we get a nice even, and it will be even. It won't be even because the pan heats evenly. It'll be even because the pan's retaining a lot of heat. if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. And, oh, and the bacon's cool enough to touch. Okay, so then guys, it's just, you can still see? You can kind of see. Bacon down the other side. Both sandwiches. You know what I just realized, Serena? I could do these on the Blackstone. You know, we could have like a food truck sandwich party thing. Be awesome. Okay, and can you guys see the sandwiches? You can see this. So this is where it gets a little tricky. I did not bring a spoon down tonight. That's all right. I'll figure it out. So now we want our green goes on. How do I season my cast iron pan? It depends on the pan. This one, I just, to be honest, Paul, I kind of forget. I mean, I just did the oil thing in the oven, and the other way to season your pan is just to use it a lot. The other smaller pan I had, Nick seasoned the life out of it, like, and he left it behind when he moved, and we stored it. So I'm just gonna add some green. And on both sandwiches. Getting down to the end. Yeah, we're doing okay from time. Oops, that seems like a lot. All right, well, God, it's not easy being green. Okay. Now comes the tricky part. Yeah, it would be too much, Serena, that would be too much bacon grease. I love bacon fat as much as the next person. In this case, it'd be too much. So the trick with these guys, and I'll show you, is you want to like snap these closed like McGonagall closing a book. Just like boom. There we go. Okay, that's 1, 2, and you give it a smush. I'm gonna smush it down a little bit. So good. And now get, I mean, not that long. I thought, Serena, I thought of that one maybe like 10 minutes ago, just as I was getting everything ready. Yeah, this is not a low fat, low calorie thing. Okay, and I hope you guys can hear the thing. So here's the other technique that I also learned. I'll pass on to you guys. Excuse me, as I eat all the leftover cheese. So these are going to go dry in the pan. Okay, no, but I'm going to use a thin coating of mayo, and I'll tell you why in a sec. Let me just wash this guy off. Give me a sec, guys. Okay. They go dry in the pan to give us some color before the mayo goes on. Now you can use use one of two things on the top of your sandwich. I use mayo, and the reason I use mayo is because it has a higher smoke point, and it allows the sandwich to brown nicely and be like glistening on the outside, but it also allows the inside to melt properly. And I kind of want 2 minutes on this side, so we'll have a look in a sec. If you use butter, the butter will burn. It'll get too dark. Okay, so we're just gonna wait here for a sec. And this is the hard part, is being patient when the sandwich is so good. Let's just have a peek here. Yeah, okay, so this is actually good to turn over. Be careful, of course, turning things in a hot pan. Okay, now that we've got them flipped, and you want like, you just want a skim coat of mayo here. This is to protect the bread and give it help it give color. It's not really as a flavoring thing. So you don't want to go crazy on the mayo here. Okay. And then we're going to wait till 7:46 and we're going to flip them back. Yeah, if you, honestly, Spencer, if you can get your grilled cheese, if you can get the inside to melt before the butter makes it too dark, then I would use butter. What did I say, 7:46? Okay, let's go to a minute. And then once we have both sides mayoed, you just, so, sorry, Paul, why dry? It gives you a better crust and color without over browning the bread. It gives you sort of a head start on making sure all your inside ingredients are nice and melted and gooey and good. It's actually really important for this sandwich. Okay, I don't want to rush these, but I'm kind of hungry, you know, so. Yeah, but Paul, if you do that, it'll steam, right? And your bread will go soft. Rebecca, that would probably work too. And in fact, I used butter last night and it was great. So I wanted to try the mayo. This is, I normally do my grilled cheeses with mayo, so I thought I would do it this way, just to do something different. Okay. Now we just get this guy back. Nice color on this side. And already the sandwich is melting up. So let's get a skim coat on these guys on the back side here. That's a lot. Just the skimmiest of skim coats, like your final coat of drywall compound, you know, it's just like lightest little bit. You don't have to get it like even everywhere, because as soon as you flip it and as soon as it hits the pan, of course it's going to melt and fill in all the cracks anyway, so you really can go light on this. Okay, done with that. And now we play the waiting game, and we're just going to flip it back and forth. And I'm going to flip them about every minute. You got to watch them at this point, because they can go, now that they're mayoed up or buttered up, depending on what you chose, they can go dark pretty quick. You can see already we're getting pretty dark on this side. This side could have gone a bit longer, but we're just going to keep flipping them every minute until I kind of feel that they're done. Oh, and Serena's going to run down plates kind of now, actually. If you can bring me a couple plates on. Oops. So, any questions, guys? Show you guys this in a sec. Kind of want it to go a little bit longer on this side. Yep, that's good. A little bit longer. And these ones, you can kind of like, don't worry about smushing them down. There's a ton of stuff in these sandwiches. Yes, I agree 100%, Rebecca. This is, and I didn't even get a chance to talk about that. One of the things I did want to talk about is, and this kind of goes way back to me throwing shade at Nick's chef's plate recipe about, I'll call you when they're done, about the sandwiches, that it was just a bunch of stuff on a bun. The reason I like this sandwich, and well, the reason, this is, first of all, it's an amazing sandwich, but it stood the test of time, right? Like, this was a super popular sandwich served at a food cart for years. It's an amazing, it's a proven flavor combination. So this isn't just like a bunch of stuff on a bun. Well, and of course, avocado bacon's a classic pairing already. So you're starting with a good pedigree for a sandwich. And this is just, the technique is right, the bread is right. Like, over the years, this guy has really nailed this sandwich. This is one of the few times where I wouldn't say make it your own, because I think it's perfect. Okay. Almost there. Kind of feel, oops. Yeah, okay. In 30 seconds, I'm going to take these off and we're going to eat. Wow, it's hot. I don't know. Oh, it's called the Fort Greene. Don't ask me why. It's called the Fort Greene sandwich. And green has an E on the end. Okay, these are ready. So this is going to come out. I'm going to cut this for Serena, and she's going to come down now and get it. Just went back upstairs. So Serena, you can come for your sandwich. Another thing that serrated knives are great for is cutting sandwiches. Although I should have used the sandwich knife. I said I was going to do that, didn't I? Okay, let me get this one off. Let's put that on the edge for pickup. I think now I'm a short order cook, right? It's awesome. I'll tell you, we're getting our exercise in the new house. We're having stairs for a change. That was too hot to pick up, so I'm just going to leave it. Let's bring the sandwich front and center. And let's try out the sandwich knife anyway, since I have it. Order up. Okay, sandwich knife. It does a pretty good job, right? And I guess I don't actually need a plate, do I? I mean, I'm right here. Okay, guys, so let me just show you the inside of this guy. Look at that. Just, you can see, right? Incredible, melty, yummy goodness. That's very hot. And I'm going to eat it anyway. Okay. Yeah. It's just as good as I remember it. It's so good. And you know what else? It's a good looking sandwich. So this green that I made tonight is slightly spicier, actually, than the one I made last night. Which I like. It's good. This is just an incredible flavor concentration. Oh, I didn't tell you guys what cheese. So I used a blend of half Jack, half cheddar for this. It's really good. I think one of the reasons you want to use a crusty sourdough for this and start it in a dry pan is that as texturally the sandwich is brilliant too, because you've got like a nice crunch and a good structure to hold the sandwich together. Beautiful crunchy exterior and this incredible rich creamy center that's just fantastic. Unreal. Okay, well, we may be having a Fort Greene party here. Everybody I know is getting the sandwich. Okay, guys. Before I just wolf this whole thing down, it's so easy to eat this. Any questions on the whole thing tonight? Any of the techniques or... wait a couple minutes. So, okay, that's kind of all I got. Oh, and we didn't talk about next week. Any requests for next week? Awesome. Any ideas for next week? Any requests? Should I just make something up? It's really good. Okay, in that case, I'm going to sign off, and I will think of something for next week. I'm kind of, I gotta tell you guys, I'm kind of in a street. Oh, what about wontons? That was the other thing that, yeah, YouTube, we could do that actually, Paul. I haven't made wontons in ages, so I was thinking about wontons. Do you guys have any interest in wontons? Because there's a couple different styles of wontons. Like there's a northern Chinese style and a southern Chinese style, and they're both great. I haven't done that in a while. I make a wicked, Spencer, I make a wicked chicken pot pie. However, I could do Cornish pasties. The problem with doing chicken pot pie on stream is, I mean, I can TV time it. I can show you guys how to make the filling and then roll out the pastry and everything. But it's not super stream suitable. I try and stay away from TV timing stuff if I can. I'll do it if I have to. So I'm thinking the vote is for wontons. And I kind of want to do wontons. So wontons is going to be next week. So that's great. So we got next week sorted. And we'll do a couple different wontons a few different ways. I'll show you guys the Northern Chinese versus the Southern Chinese, if I can find the wrappers for Northern Chinese. Anyway, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. That's it. So again, love doing this for you guys. Thanks for everybody for coming out. I will see you next week.